we go guys, I can see some blue skies on the horizon heading our way. So here's where we parked last night. See the sun just bursting through the trees there for the first time in a couple of days. Nice little church in the distance there. And that is the River Somme. And we're on an island which is cut off really by the river and the canal the other side. Beautiful little park up. Can hear a cockerel crowing in the background. Lovely little spot. Some picnic tables and chairs over there. There's the van, right next to the canal. Overlooked by these houses on the other side. Beautiful stretch of water here. Really good for fishing apparently. I'll put all the details in the description below. I believe this used to be like an old port. It's just an inlet off the canal. Nice big hard stand in here. And they've sort of turned it into a free camping spot. Lovely little view out here, really super quiet. A couple of houses in the village across the way, but no noise at all from any of those. You get quite a few vans in here in the summer as well, I reckon. This is a lovely peaceful little park up this. We'll probably stop here for another night. There's the van. Behind where those fir trees are, there's a couple of toilets. Very basic, but if you was desperate, you could go in there. And then I did notice on the way in, there's a couple of refuse bins up here, and I did notice a standpipe as well. So I think there's drinking water up here, so just going to go and check it out. So there's the refuse bin as you come in on the entrance, and then I noticed just here, there's a standpipe, and I'm pretty sure that that'll be mains. Yeah, it's definitely mains pressure. I can actually smell a little bit of chlorine in it, to be honest. So we never drink any of our tank water anyway, so this is more than adequate for washing and showering in. We always use bottled water that we've got in a little container in the kitchen. I think you've seen me use this before. It's just a battery operated pump. Just an easy way of transferring all of that water into my onboard tank without having to lift that up in the air. It just runs on two AA batteries, and I think it only cost me about €8 or €9. Really handy for situations like this. Tucked around the corner here by the side of the lake is obviously the free toilet facilities. Oh yeah, just remember, don't look down. Just leaving the banks of the Somme. That was an absolutely beautiful little park up. So quiet and peaceful. Lovely watching those barges float on by on the canal. You know, really nice little spot. Totally free. They've got water there, and there's some basic composting toilets if you're a bit desperate. But yeah, brilliant little place. We're heading further south. We're actually going to be right in the middle of Paris on a campsite right on the Seine. And I think we're only about 15 minutes from the centre. We chose a campsite because I'm just a little bit conscious of security. You know, you hear a few stories in Europe of people parking up on side streets and getting their vans broken into and that. So I think if we're on a campsite, the van will be a little bit more secure, and both Lou and I will be a bit more happy about leaving it while we venture off into the city. So we'll touch base with you again as soon as we get to the campsite. We've probably got about 130 kilometres, a couple of hours drive into Paris, and then we'll find our little campsite and our parking spot. So here we are, we're in Paris. We're only 5 kilometres from the Eiffel Tower, which is in that direction. Here's the entrance to the campsite, there's the reception area. Sun's going down, beautiful coloured sky. And it's a nice little wooded campsite. We picked a little clear spot because obviously we need the solar. There's Lou. Hi Lou. And we're right by the River Somme, just the other side of those trees. I'll show you in a minute. We're right on the banks of the River Somme, running down that way. Let's go and show you where we're parked up. They've got some of these cute little wooden cabins. They look like the old gypsy wagons, to be honest. And then there's the river down there, you can just see the water. We'll take a walk down there in a minute. Most of the park ups here are amongst the trees, but we found a nice little clearing. There's a little children's playground area here, and there's also a cafe there as well with some outdoor seating. Considering we're right in the middle of Paris, it's a lovely little spot. And then in amongst the trees here, there are some of these glamping tents. So you've got a little bit of a choice as to where you camp. Morning guys, nice sunny morning in Paris. Now when we got here yesterday, they parked us up in quite a wooded area. I mean, this is fairly densely wooded, this campsite anyway. I think you can see the van there now. But they did say that if we wanted to move to another spot on the campsite, we could have a look around and then we could move the vehicle. Now, they parked me in amongst a load of trees. Now, we're 100% solar, so I need the sun. So I'll give you a little tip as to where I position the van and what I was thinking when I chose the spot that we're now in. I'll turn the camera around and I'll just show you. Now what I noticed was there was a big clearing in the trees here, as you can see. And there's our van there. Now when we got here late last night, the sun was setting over there. So now this morning, obviously the sun is rising up over there. Now I'm not going to get any solar at the moment because we're shaded by these trees. But from midday and the rest of the afternoon, the sun's going to be at its highest, and it's going to be tracking across the sky all the way across there to where it was setting yesterday. So all of the afternoon from midday onwards, when the sun is at its hottest, I'm going to be getting loads of solar without any shading from these trees. So it's always worth considering that when you're parking up. So I'm going to make sure I maximise my solar wherever possible. So it's about 10 o'clock now, the sun's just getting to the top of those trees, and then that will emerge across that bit of blue sky there, so we'll get plenty of solar. You can just see the back of the van, it's just getting a little bit of sun on the back, still in the shade a little bit, but give it a couple of minutes, we'll be toasty. Now we could have got the shuttle bus from the campsite. They operate a service there which takes you to one of the nearest metro stations, and then you just hop on the metro, go anywhere you want to in Paris, very much like the underground in London. There's a huge network of underground train lines. But it's such a lovely day, and it's only 3 miles, so a little under an hour's stroll and we'll be right in the heart of Paris. So there we go, just over an hour's walk from the campsite here to the world famous Arc de Triomphe, and just behind me, a couple of 100 yards there, is the Champs-Elysees, and then over to my left you can just see the Eiffel Tower. So here we are guys, only just about a half-hour stroll from the Arc de Triomphe, and we're right underneath the Eiffel Tower. Couldn't come to Paris without seeing the Eiffel Tower, could we? Quite an impressive structure. It's not as good as the one that Lou's got. Look at this. And it lights up. Give him a demo, Lou. Yeah! Can you see the lights? That's going to be our Christmas tree in the van this year. So we've left the van in Paris, just took the red eye across to New York, and here we are standing outside the Statue of Liberty. No, actually we're still on the Seine. This is in Paris. I think in the distance there you can see the Eiffel Tower. Oh yeah, there it is, look. It really wasn't on the cards first thing this morning. We were going to set out and do that sort of mileage, but we pretty much walked around the whole of Paris today. We've done 11 miles so far, and I think we've got another mile back to the campsite. How are you feeling, Lou?
I'm okay.
Yeah, I think the hips are aching a little bit, and so are my feet. I'll be glad to get out of these shoes and have a nice warm cup of tea. But we've had a good day today. We've seen quite a few sights. Obviously seen the most famous ones, the Arc de Triomphe and the Eiffel Tower. It's been a really good day, and the weather's been nice as well. Yes, we finally made it back to the campsite. Oh, I need to sit down. Okay, so yesterday wasn't too bad a day. We had quite a bit of sunshine. I think I got maybe 1/3 of a kilowatt, you know, of solar yesterday, but today it's really overcast. We've had rain all night. The batteries are down to about 12.3 volts this morning, so I don't want them to drop any lower than that, because if you discharge your batteries too low, you've got a serious risk of damaging them. So we're going to use the backup plan, which is a hookup. I've got my electric cable. I've paid for the electric on the site. It was actually €6 for one day, so that's not too sad really. And then I've obviously got it plugged into the standpipe there. Now what I can do now, obviously the way we set up that control panel in the back of the garage, is I can flick over from inverter to mains, and everything in the van will be powered off the mains. I can also start my mains battery charger, and that will make sure that my batteries are okay. So let's get that sorted. Now I've plugged that hookup supply in, you can see that I've got power on both sides of the panel. So I've got power on the right hand side coming from the inverter up there, and I've also got power on the mains hookup. There's my battery charger, mains battery charger down there plugged into that socket. First thing I'll do before I flick this mains switch over is just check that the polarity on the hookup is okay. Got a little plug tester down here, that's telling me everything's correct. So now what we can do is flick this double pole switch over to the hookup. Now everything in the van is powered off the mains hookup and not off my inverter. So now I can actually turn the inverter off. And then lastly what I'll do is I'll flick the mains battery charger on, and that's now going to charge my batteries and top them back up. So now in the van where the controls are situated, we've got our remote for the mains battery charger. At the moment it is saying off, so and now turn the mains battery charger on. It should initiate and then tell us the battery status. So I don't know if you can see that, it's difficult to get that on the camera, but that's reading 12.9 volts, 12.8 volts, so it's charging. It was reading 12.4 before it came on, but it's put in like 32 amps back into the batteries, and you can see the little battery symbol here is going up and down. They were quite low, as you can see, so we'll leave that on all day and we'll make sure that battery bank's properly charged up. So now I've been able to turn the inverter off, so that's not drawing any power at all from the batteries. We've got everything in the van running off the mains hookup supply, and you can probably just hear the fan running, maybe a little bit in the background, from my mains battery charger that's now obviously charging the battery string. So I'll give it a bit of time like that, get the batteries back up to tip-top condition, run everything off the mains today. Might as well make use of it now I've paid for it. So we've had the mains hookup on now for the best part of the day, and I had the mains battery charger on as well. It's been sort of bulk charging the first part of the day, and then it's been on float for the rest of the day, but it's finally just saying full. So you can see that 13.4 volts. So that should have them back up to tip-top condition, and then we'll see over the next few days whether there's enough sun just to keep them topped up again. But in what, 12 months of having the van in operation, that's the first time we've ever hooked up on to a mains hookup. Right, so a few people on the comments have suggested that I try turning the glow plugs on 2 or 3 times, and with a little gap in between. I guess that's to heat the glow plugs up a little bit more than they would be normally, and then that would kind of eliminate them as a bit of a problem, and then that would more point to fuel. So let's just give that a try. Ignition on, glow plug light on, plug light off. Wait a few seconds. Ignition on again, glow plug light on. This should be heating the plugs up. Off again for a few seconds, and then we'll just do one more and then see how she starts. Glow plug light on again, plug light off. Yeah, it started a bit better actually. Normally, you know, it's been sitting there for 3 days, so normally by then it would have taken ages to crank over. So I'm just wondering whether that is something to do with them new plugs perhaps, and not the fuel. Anyway, she started, so let's go. So we're just heading out of Paris now. There's a lovely little campsite right in the middle of Paris there. As with all our other park ups, I'll put all the links to where that is in the description of this video. The weather forecast is pretty poor all over France at the moment, to be honest, so I think no matter where we head we're going to be due a bit of rain for the next day or two. So we're just going to head out of the city, about 40 minutes or so. We're going to stop at a hypermarket first, just stock up on some food and water, and then we'll plan where we're next going to head to. I really do hope you've enjoyed following us on this journey through France, and that you found the information in the video to be useful to you. If you've liked it, please give us a thumbs up. Make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, because we'll be putting out weekly videos of all our travels through Europe. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Cheers.